Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Pisces season vibe check. I'm so super excited to dive into these lovely tarot readings that are jam packed with juicy details and lovely notes to carry you through the Pisces season. But before we get into the reading, I just wanted to give a few key disclaimers. So, if you're new here, please stick around and enjoy the full introduction, as these are some things you'll need to know before you get into the reading. And if you've been to my page before and you're well acquainted with my disclaimers, you can just head right on down to the description box and find the reading that corresponds to your group. So the disclaimers that I would like to give you guys before we jump into the reading are that my tarot readings are for confirmation and clarity, not for answers. So if there's something that you're hearing for the first time in my readings, just check in with yourself and see if it resonates with you. If it doesn't resonate with you, just let it slide. You don't have to attach yourself to something that doesn't make sense to your particular situation. These readings are for the general public, so there's going to be different messages for different people. And another thing I would like to let you guys know is that your life is not determined by a tarot reading on YouTube, okay? So if there's something I say here that you don't like, know that you have the power of free will. You are capable of changing any energy that's present in your life. So if something does resonate with you and you just don't like it, just be there for yourself and manifest change in your life. And without further ado, I just invite you to get into the reading, head on down to the description box and find the timestamp that corresponds with your zodiac sign and enjoy your Pisces season vibe check. Thank you. Anyway, this is the Pisces season vibe check for water signs. If you're a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio, this is your Pisces season vibe check reading. We're checking in on the energy that is guiding you, carrying you, and influencing you all throughout the next couple of weeks while we experience the very just deep and sensitive nature of Pisces. So we start off with the Two of Cups, which I feel as it is a message of communication. It is a message saying, like, the doors of communication are really opening up to you guys. And before I get deep into the reading, I want to talk about the card in the back of the deck here, the Temperance card. Temperance is it's such a fiery energy, it's such a passionate energy. And when you're looking at temperance, you're kind of thinking of like an energy of risk taking, an energy of kind of, I want to say, it's a lot of risk taking, but it's calculated risks. It's not like haphazard energy, but it's a very directed energy of risk taking, of just like going after things you want without hesitation. Being open and honest, like with yourself, with other people around you. Like temperance is such a strong card to have in the back of the deck of this reading, because it's kind of like you're starting to open up and voice things that you have never felt comfortable voicing before. Water signs, you guys are starting to kind of like talk about your boundaries, your limitations, like your, I don't want to use the word ultimatums, but basically it would be like ultimatums that you kind of live your life by. And it's giving a lot of like, you're taking control into of a situation, you're taking matters into your own hands. You're no longer just going to be swayed by whichever way the wind carries you, but you are going to spread your wings, you're going to fly, and you're going to move into the direction that you really want to be in. There's so much wing symmetry in this reading. We have Temperance card with the wings, we have the Two of Cups card with the wings. There's so many winged characters in this Wheel of Fortune. We even have the lovers, the angel above the lovers, the ancestor with wings. So it's really giving like just spreading your wings, opening up your energy, and taking like direct guided action. And I feel like when I say guided, I mean like just your higher self, the form of yourself that you're growing into. It really wants to take control and just make sure you're moving in the right direction. There's just so much emphasis on direction and really your path being so clear, your needs, your wants, your desires just being so clear to you guys during this season. With the Wheel of Fortune, I can see that these conversations that you're having where you're like opening up these doors and kind of just being fully vulnerable, fully honest, not only with yourself, but with people around you, it turns the Wheel of Fortune very much in your favor. You'll start to see more and more align, and you'll start to see more and more just fall into place as you continue to just be raw and be honest. Um, This is an energy I feel like you guys have been dealing with for so long though. Like it's really just coming up to surface during this time, but it's possible that you guys water signs have just been so deep in shadow work and so deep in just self-awareness and self-understanding these past couple of months or even like this past year, and it's really starting to like you're finding the confidence to like wear that energy on your surface. And it's enhancing your relationships, it's enhancing your friendships because you're being raw and vulnerable and honest. You're just attracting people that really see you, that see you with no judgment, that see you with love. Like they see you for who you really truly are, and that's what the lovers cards represents. I feel like a lot of you guys that are in romantic relationships will start to see like your relationships move up to the next level. You'll have a renewed sense of energy and your ability for not only yourself to communicate your needs within the relationship, but for you guys as partners to fully receive what you're saying in a beautiful way, which allows you guys to just take things to the next level. Which, if you are in a relationship, reading this is something you've been praying for and waiting for, and really just being, I feel, very patient about, very caring and thoughtful about. And now it's your time to get what you want. You guys have not been in a place of really forcing your partners to see things your way. You just kind of been wanting them to naturally understand you guys, and that's what's coming down the pipeline for you in Pisces season. You're reaching a new level of understanding, even for both single and coupled people. Your platonic relationships are reaching a new level. Some of you guys might be meeting some new friends, some new platonic friends that um, just feel, it feels like you've known them forever. When you meet them, it feels like you've just known them forever, and you have no qualms about being open and honest. I feel like another thing that's kind of coming up here is when you find yourself in public spaces, um, you when you find yourself in public spaces, you're kind of shedding away the worry of making a first impression. I'm so sorry, that was disgusting. You're shedding the need to make a good first impression. You kind of taken a stance on things where it's just like, I'm gonna be who I am, and whoever doesn't like it, they don't have to like it. Like I can't compromise and change myself and wear a mask and be enslaved to this mask every time I see this person. Like I just have to be who I am, and it's serving you really well. I feel like even if you're a single person, I haven't touched on the singles yet. I'm still on the lovers card here. But even for the single people that are watching this, you guys are attracting a romantic partner. And it's through your openness, it's through your honesty. Remember what I said about people seeing you in your vulnerability, people seeing you for who you really and truly are. Um, that's how you're going to attract your partner, because you might have a friend that says, oh, it might be somebody you're meeting brand new, or a friend that you meet that says, wow, like I know this single person that, you guys would really be great together. And you go on a blind date or something crazy happens like that. But I feel like almost kind of super serendipitously, you guys end up meeting a romantic partner during Pisces season, or just someone or people that you really truly connect with that feel like you feel right at home the first time you meet. This experience in relationships is going to kind of cause you to really have to invoke a different level of strength, a different level of, one second. You're going to be you're going to be calling upon a different level of strength. I feel like what you found as your strengths before are becoming very like areas of confidence for you, areas of comfort and opportunity for you. So you're kind of reaching a new level of strength. I feel like for a lot of you guys, like I said, you've been very deep in the shadow work, deep in the process of self awareness and self understanding. And so you have to kind of relearn how to be in public spaces again. Many of you guys have to learn how to network. Many of you guys are really going to have to learn how to network, get comfortable with networking. I feel like if you're watching this right now, it might not necessarily be an area you're totally comfortable with. You're kind of used to, going home at the end of the day maybe vegging out, just doing what really feels comfortable for you. And you're being called to like network more, get outside more, and just be a little bit more active in your social life. I think a lot of your strength will be tested as well. A lot of those areas that I said you guys were working on in the shadow. Sorry. The areas that you guys have been working on in the shadow are also going to be tested. Those areas of strength, because those at this point, spirit feels like it should just be a natural area of strength for you. You shouldn't really be battling around your confidence or lack of confidence in areas like the self-worth and the self-depreciating conversations that you have in your head. Like, you should easily be able to tame those. And so spirit is going to take you out of that comfort zone of, the routine you have around attacking your anxieties or attacking those parts of yourself, like the routine of after a long day maybe going home, maybe canceling plans. Like, spirit is taking you out of that. Spirit is saying no, no more. You have to get out, you have to mingle, you have to learn how to maintain a clear, calm mental space even in the midst of chaos. And I feel like it has a lot to do with what's coming around for you guys financially. Although this season is like heavily weighted on relationships, like these are relationships that can bloom into financial opportunities, business opportunities for you. So definitely definitely keep that in mind. Definitely prepare yourself to just be out and about. And I feel like with the 5 of Swords here, at the very end of this spread, I see that you guys are kind of withdrawing your swords, like certain battles that you might have engaged in before, as a result of like your growth, your willingness to just be true in yourself, your willingness to like move on because you're open to taking risks and you're open to moving on, and it's not something that scares you anymore. You don't feel like you have to stay in an area of safety, in an area of comfort. It causes you to really get smart at picking your battles and just moving on from things that don't serve you, moving on from certain questions that don't serve you and just certain ideas. I feel like for some of you guys, like you will be walking away from some friendships, because your time and attention is limited, and you really do need to use that space to cultivate new relationships, to have the mental capacity to network, like all of those different things. Sorry if you can't tell, I'm like battling congestion. And it's just like obviously the worst time to be doing this. Wow. So we got the 2 of Cups again. You guys are really making space for new relationships. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if you guys, like, do you see how the 7 of Swords came out face up and in the reverse, and then the 5 of Swords was in the reverse up here? It's like the same message is kind of repeating itself, but with the 7 of Swords, it's more so saying like you guys are also disengaging from petty behaviors. Through disengaging in arguments and questions and things that don't serve you, you're also able to disengage from petty behaviors, which I feel like Spirit is so proud of you for not taking the opportunity to be petty and taking the opportunity to have a one up on somebody that you normally would take that opportunity with. That they're just like, this is growth. They're very proud of you. They're very happy. Like, this is growth. And they're basically telling you in the 9 of Cups that you can take your pick. We have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, and then the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, so I feel like you guys during Pisces season, you shouldn't really be making any huge business moves. I feel like you will be inspired. You will have some business ideas brewing in your head. However, it's not really time to like labor over them and put them into action. You're kind of just in a place where you're mixing, mingling, bouncing ideas off of people, communicating, maybe even meeting people with the same ideas as you, and just kind of experiencing the joy of being in alignment. And I'm sure, obviously, the work will come at some point, but you really just need to, wow, you really just need to give yourself this time to, uh, give yourself this time to network, to mingle, to bounce the ideas off of people. Obviously be discerning about who you share your ideas with, but bounce ideas off people, because that's how your ideas get better. And you might actually meet somebody who's like, wow, I want to actually do this. And, I want to build a brand. I want to build a company. I want to build an experience around this idea that you have. And we should work together and get it done. Like, the two of us could do damage. Okay. So, first, for our affirmations, we're going to go over self esteem. And right now, a question in your self esteem is why you are seeking validation. It says, through your actions, you are seeking validation. Consider why you feel the need to gain approval. And that ties back to what I said about showing up in spaces as your full authentic self, and kind of letting alone the fact that some people might not resonate with you and some people might not like you. And if that's the case, it's better for you to know immediately. It's better for you to know right now, before you get too deep with somebody, before things get to a point of like too much attachment and too much codependency, and you once again feel like you're enslaved to this character that you put on for them. And then also, we're decoding fears with the affirmations. And your affirmation for decoding your fear is, don't be afraid to speak up and be heard. That's what this whole reading is about, is you just unlocking a new level of communication, and being comfortable in communication. And it's saying don't be afraid. Spirit is telling you not to be afraid of it, meaning that there's only good that can come from this. And with the ocean jasper, you guys, you guys are being encouraged to schedule yourself in. And I feel like what that's stemming from is the idea that, yeah, you're going to be a lot more social during Pisces season. You're going to be a lot more out and about, mixing and mingling. Don't forget, although Spirit is saying, they want you to become less dependent on those traditional routines of calming your mind and addressing your anxiety, don't forget to continue to practice them. Still practice them, but it doesn't have to be something you cancel plans to do. It doesn't have to be something that is such a rigid experience to where you feel like I need to go home after work and dedicate 4 hours to just introspection. I can dedicate 2 hours to being out and mingling. I can come home. I can still meditate. I can still do my yoga. I can still do my journaling, what feels good for me. And I can have it all. Water signs, that's your Pisces season vibe check. If you need more information, just head over to my website, zoesintuition.com. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share the video, etc., etc. I am super excited to see what Pisces season has in store for you guys. And until next time, just enjoy life, okay? Don't think too hard about things, all right? Goodbye. All right, fire signs, my beloved. Let's get into your vibe check for the Pisces season. Let's see what's in store for you. Oh, that was not cute. Ooh. If you're at Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, this part of the reading is for you. We're tapping into the energy. Ooh, oh my God, I cannot shuffle. We're tapping into the energy that is guiding you. Oh my gosh, influencing you and carrying you. Clearly, I can't shuffle right now. I don't know why. I literally just did it for the other group, the water group. Spirit, what's the information for the fire signs for Pisces season? Too much information. Okay. I just want 5 cards for fire signs for the Pisces season vibe check. There we go. All right. Yeah, I feel a lot of tension surrounding fire signs and Pisces season. It might just be because Pisces is such an emotional sign already that you guys are just naturally uncomfortable in that space. However, I feel like there's obviously events transpiring that make you want to kind of retreat, make you want to not be so much in groups, not really be out in public, out in the open. I think you guys will be spending a lot of time at home during this season. I'm hearing spirits saying to you guys, feel free to make yourselves feel right at home. Feel free to make yourselves at home in spaces, hopefully in any space. I hope that for you guys' sake this season, fire signs, you have a gentle place to come back to rest at, to kind of find peace and quietness and solitude in, because it's something that you're going to be needing in this Pisces season. And if you don't have that, you want to find somewhere where you can make it just so. That could mean that you go to, if you live in a warm area, you go to the park alone, put your headphones in. Maybe you bring your iPad or your phone and you watch something on Netflix, like out at the park, and just rest and relax and be out of your home environment. For you guys that like have your own room, it could mean just going into your room after work a lot during Pisces season and just isolating yourself. But I feel like a lot of you guys need to spend time alone. You need to create room and space for introspection. I feel like you guys are questioning loyalties around you, and you need to be alone to kind of assess the truth of situations. You don't need to necessarily be around too many people during this time getting their opinions, um, or even like diluting the experiences that you're having. Um, that's what I'm seeing with the Nine of Pentacles. It's like kind of just making yourself feel at home, being alone, being able to fully see like not only the abundance around you, but just take a survey of the scene, um, and putting yourself into a calm space. This is where I get the idea of kind of like questioning loyalties. There's something that is going on that's making you question someone's loyalty, and you don't need anyone else's opinion on it. You just need to understand where you stand on the topic, where you stand on the grievance or the discretion. Like, you need your own personal opinion about it, because other people are not going to see things the same way as you do. And other people also are not going to be really operating in the same relationship. Like, this relationship is like a direct relationship between you and another person. And I don't see the need to like really let anyone else in. The Two of Wands says that you do need to do some planning. I feel like you need to plan kind of, I want to say exit strategy, but I don't want to put that on you. If it's not the case, then if that doesn't resonate with you, then just let it go. But a lot of you guys are going to be planning like somewhat of an exit strategy, somewhat of a escape plan. Some of you guys need to get out of a relationship where you're either being taken advantage of, or even if you're not being taken advantage of, you don't feel safe in this relationship and you don't feel like you can grow in this relationship. And so it's time for you to leave and move on. And that's totally okay. Like, it could have very little to do with the other person, but it's just the fact that maybe you can't get past certain things, or the way you're receiving communications from them. Um, for example, if you're someone who needs a lot of validation and a lot of confirmation, and while you guys have a love for each other, they can't really provide you that, then you need to be honest with that, and you need to, formulate a way to like get out of that unscathed. Um, for some of you guys, that means going back home. For some of you guys, you need to go back home. I don't know if that means visit, or for some of you guys, like I said, who are planning an escape out of a relationship, you guys are going to be moving back into, maybe back to your own hometown, maybe in with a relative, a caregiver that, has taken care of you in the past. But some of you guys are going to be going back home during Pisces season, and you're going to feel very limited. You're going to be feeling very trapped, like the walls are closing on you. But Spirit is telling you that this is an opportunity for you to start brand new, like expand yourself in a different way, move in a different direction. That's what I'm seeing with the Page of Wands, is that Spirit is encouraging you and letting you know that it's possibly time for you to be moving in a different direction. Possibly time for you to be, instead of like playing a backseat role in someone else's life, being the main character of your own life. And sometimes you do have to fall behind to get ahead. I feel like that's a lot of what spirit wants to teach you too during the season, is that there is no shame of going back home, or, you know, falling behind necessarily, feeling behind, feeling limited. I feel like a lot of you guys are having a inner dialogue about being a certain age and not having things accomplished and starting all over again, but it's like you don't have to see it that way. There's a possibility that you didn't have the opportunity to like learn this relationship lesson in the past, and like you're learning it now, and it just is what it is. It's like you don't have to frown upon feeling like you're behind in life just because you're starting over, or like moving in a different direction, or like having a new experience that feels like an old experience. um I'm hearing hamster wheel, like you guys are feeling like you're on a hamster wheel. um you need to allow yourself to go through this process. A lot of you guys, fire signs, you need to lighten up on yourself. Like you're being way too hard on yourself. Um, it seems like a lot of you guys have wanted a family, and while you're feeling very secure in yourself and like your own personal accomplishments, you feel like you're kind of missing your opportunity to build and create a family. And Spirit is telling you that's not the case. Spirit wants you to know that the family that you build, you want to make sure it fits in your vision. You want to make sure it's the right family for you. Um, that's what you want to make sure of. That's what you want to, like, you don't want to just build a family for the sake of having a family. You want to build a family that kind of like fits the image that you have in your head. I say that like with caution, because everything is not going to be picture perfect, and everything's not going to be cookie cutter, but the situation that you're in right now is not, it's far from what you really want. Yeah, I feel like you guys in this new space, you have like the world at your fingertips, kind of. It's kind of like the journey is just so brand new, and like you're just so you're just so like fresh and revived and invigorated on the inside, even if it doesn't really feel that way or doesn't look that way. Like you just have such a new, like your opportunities are plentiful. Like you have the opportunity to start over. Like I want you guys to realize how much of a blessing that is. And you're so much more yourself than you were a year ago, 2 3 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Like you're so much more yourself, you're so much more formed than you were then, that like you're not going to repeat the same things. Like you're going to be so much better off starting over now than you were when you felt like you were getting your life started a decade ago. Yeah, like I said, with the Ace of Swords, opportunities are so plentiful and so abundant for you. You have the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. It's giving inspiration, it's giving just a revived energy of inspiration, of forward thinking, of just taking control and taking the situation into your own hands, and like resources also. It's giving resources, it's giving abundance. You even have the Page of Cups. The page is such an inspired energy. It's such an inspired energy. Even with the Page of Cups, it says, like, even in the midst of all of this, feeling stuck, feeling limited, isolated, feeling like you're falling behind, or you're behind in life, like there are gentle surprises and things that are available to you if you just take a beat, take a breath, take a deep breath, and just really realize the beauty around you. Like you'll start to see the blessings in all of this. You'll start to see the beauty in just falling behind to get ahead, I want to say. um you'll see how much more quickly you can move, because that's a Page of Wands energy, is like that moving, being able to move quickly, being able to like turn things around quickly. I feel like being a quick thinker, really and truly, like what is it, like agile, mentally agile. And then with the Page of Pentacles, it's like finding and employing resources. And then the Page of Cups is like not only like that creative energy, like a creativity around using those resources, like using them in ways that like you maybe haven't seen them used before, but also just the creativity around like networking, and not just networking, but like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like your network. Yeah, your network. It's using your network and finding opportunities in like otherwise like places that would otherwise be, oh my gosh, I don't know why I cannot shuffle for you guys, but it's like finding opportunities in places that would otherwise be like people wouldn't be able to find opportunities in. I feel like anything you do this season, you really just need to take your time. You need to take your time and just be ready for like serendipitous moments, be ready for gentle pushes, gentle surprises. Just just be able to see the beauty in kind of like freshness and starting over, and even stagnation, like being able to see the beauty in stagnation, because some of you guys have been being held back by your spiritual wise just because they know you're not ready and they don't want you to fumble an opportunity. And like being ready and them seeing that you're ready and pushing you to the opportunity, it's like you'll be so thankful. You'll be able to like look up to the sky and say thank you for not putting this in my lap at a time where I was wildly unprepared for it. You have nothing to fear, you're just overthinking it. These are our affirmations, decoding your fears. Fire signs, your affirmation for decoding your fear is that you have nothing to fear. You're overthinking it. And that goes for you guys feeling like you're falling behind or you're behind in life. Um, your affirmation for self-esteem is be careful that your beliefs and actions don't influence your behavior, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. Wow. Don't be fortune telling yourselves, okay? Like don't be planning for the worst I mean, plan for the worst, expect for the best. It's not bad advice, but what this card is saying is don't get so fixated on knowing the outcome ahead of time. Like sometimes you just have to get in and do the work. Sometimes you just have to get in and go. You're not going to really know. You're not going to be able to know the outcome. That's just how it is. Let's see. Prioritize your health. Yeah, so you guys definitely are going to be spending more time alone, more time just getting aligned with your own needs. I feel like you're going to be working on working on yourselves this season. Sorry, I'm like under the weather, so just bear with me. You're really going to be working on yourself this season, and a lot of that is because like you've spent so much time putting into other people that you don't have your own routines. You don't know what diet is good for you. You don't know what workout routine you like. You've just been kind of blindly following what other people have laid out and what other people have done, and it's your turn to figure out what actually works for you. um and just get in and start going. Like sometimes you just have to try different things, but definitely prioritize your health. Take your vitamin C. Make sure you're not getting sick. Like you don't want to be ending up falling sick during this time, especially if it's something you can't control. If you guys are dealing with any like chronic illnesses or just ongoing illnesses, get alone and get into like figure out what works for you for managing these issues. I feel like a lot of you guys, what you're going through is not unmanageable. It's just that you've never taken the time to ask yourself, what works for me? And if you're a fire sign, that's your vibe check for the Pisces season. Let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. If you guys need more information, you can always head over to zoesintuition.com. There, I have readings on the website as low as $5, and you'll get plenty of information even with at the lowest price point. So go ahead and dive in. Otherwise, like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, and just continue to support me and continue to watch. And until the next time, just enjoy life. Don't think too hard about things. And I encourage you to just tackle Pisces season fire signs. As rough as it may be, as rough as it may sound in this reading, it's nothing that you guys are ill equipped for, and it's nothing that you guys cannot handle. So, with that being said, I'm going to close the reading at this time. And thank you so much for joining me. The way that I just went into a whole spiel and the microphone wasn't even on, and this is my second time doing that. Anyway, Earth signs, this is your vibe check for the Pisces season. I've already done the shuffling. So let's get right into the reading. This is the energy that's going to be influencing you, carrying you, and guiding you through Pisces season. So, first off, starting with the King of Wands, you're kind of giving off the energy of being a little bit misguided, maybe a little bit insatiable. Some of you guys are feeling like you're in that weird position of accomplishing old goals and not having yet set new goals. And it's very frustrating for you to kind of not have something that you're working for. But nonetheless, if you're an earth sign, you're probably feeling like you're walking in the night and you have no field of vision, and like you can't see in front of you, you can't see on either side of you. If you look back, you can't really see behind you. It's giving brain fog, it's giving aloof, it's giving just not having information, um not being fully present sometimes too. Like with the King of Wands, I just say because of how he's looking away. And the King of Wands is, he's an insatiable king. Like he's fiery, he's active, he can take quick action and get things done. And like there's so many great things about him, but the King of Wands is known as an insatiable figure, who's just, he's never going to have enough. And that's a little bit of the issue with you guys in the goal setting. It's like you feel like if you're not working towards a goal and you're not accomplishing anything, then like you're wasting time or you're useless. And that's really just not the case. Okay. You guys, maybe you're going through something more emotional than what you're used to. Um, Sometimes it's said that you have to oh my god, there are some very ugly looking pigeons on my fire escape right now. Anyway, sometimes it's said that you kind of have to go through destruction in a way to get an emotional upgrade, and I feel like that's what a lot of you guys are going through right now, feeling like, you're not really driven by anything, you're not really motivated by anything, you're not really inspired by anything. It could be something that's really hard for you guys. It could be kind of heartbreaking for you guys to see yourself in this place. However, it's not the end of the world. Like, this is only something that is going to reinstill certain faith in you. This is going to reinstill your ability to kind of go after things without having all the information, to be a little bit more risky in a way. Um, I can see that by retreating, by getting alone into some place of solitude, you might just find a sense of calmness in, I hate to use the word stagnation, but you might just find a sense of calmness in being stagnant, being stationary for a while. I feel like where you guys are, you need to let yourself rest. Like, you're so much people that want to jump and move on to the next thing, or you're so much people that are just like unsatisfied with mediocrity and routine and different things like that. And I feel like I don't mean routine on a small scale. I feel like you guys, earth signs, are very organized. You guys are very calculated. You have a way of going about things, and that is a very much a strong suit for you. However, it's like the larger um, routine of life, of kind of feeling like I'm on this hamster wheel, I'm going through the same emotions. I set goals, I accomplish goals, I set new goals. Like, you're looking for something more. And I can see that by getting into your alone space, getting into the hermit energy, the energy of Virgo, um, and just kind of like retreating and finding comfort and peace and solitude, it can really level you up. It can help you to achieve just a small victory. And I feel like it's not an outward victory what you guys are going through. It's not something that's outward. It's not going to be an accomplishment like a promotion or a new apartment or something tangible that you guys are so used to. It's going to be an emotional victory, a victory that says like, when I accomplish goals, I can rest for a minute. I don't have to jump on to the next thing right away because I allow myself time to rest. And I also allow myself time to be guided. That's what I'm seeing with the chariot here. It's like when you can't think of a new thing to accomplish, when you can't just think of a new thing to do, the Chariot comes in to remind you that you don't always have to be in control of it. You don't always have to be in control of things. Sometimes you can just sit back, relax, and let your spirit guides move you along the path. And that's a whole message in the moon. It's about blind faith, it's about having faith in the fact that you are being guided, even though you might not be able to see it, even though you might not be able to see the end goal, or you might not be able to see the next 3 or 4 steps in front of you. You can trust that you are being guided and that things are aligned for you. And that sometimes it's not about you taking control and taking the situation into your own hands. Sometimes it's just about you doing the most you can and then sitting back, relaxing, and letting the rest fall into place, letting the rest be something that's brought to you rather than you going towards it, or even just knowing that you don't necessarily have to exert all this energy to accomplish things. You don't have to exert physical energy all the time to feel like you're moving forward. Sometimes it's just the energy of the world that carries you. The sun card is really wanting to pop out for you guys right now. I feel like you need to release the goals for a little bit and get back into that childlike energy. Get back into an energy of just trusting, okay? Just having faith and trusting. Spirit, what else is in store for the moon is coming out again? There's this battle between the sun and the moon in your reading. It's not even a battle, honestly. It's more like a harmony. Yeah, you guys need to stop making so many plans. Yeah, I knew Capricorn was going to be coming out in this. I knew Capricorn was going to be coming out in this because it was popping out earlier when I was shuffling this gold deck. Anyway, with the moon card, I can see again that you guys are really being encouraged to just trust blind faith. Don't look backwards, look forward. If you look back in this card, there's like this figure in the water with sharp nails and red eyes. And it's kind of like, oh, if you look back, you're going to be kind of doing yourself damage. You're going to be seeing fears that you had really no business seeing. It's giving like anxious thoughts. It's giving the energy of just perpetuating anxiety, self. It's like yourself. It's like a self-inflicted wound almost too, because it's like you're being actively told not to look back. You're being actively told to just keep moving forward despite the fact that everything is not planned out and ready and you don't necessarily know what you're moving into, but you are being told to like just keep moving and keep looking forward. Like there's no need for you guys to be looking back. And I just want to say right now, earth signs, if you guys end up looking backwards and it causes you anxiety, it causes you like to think fear driven thoughts, at this point it's on you because spirit is blatantly telling you not to keep doing that. Fear driven is a huge theme here with you guys. Sorry, I'm like under the weather and I'm drinking this LaCroix. And anyway, with the Two of Wands in reverse, again, it's saying like take a step back from planning, take a step back from feeling like you have to have everything all figured out. You really truly don't. You can just kind of rest in this time right now. Some things are being revealed to you, some behaviors and some things that are kind of like I said, like you guys are being earth signs, like you connect a lot with tangible things, and spirit is kind of saying to you like this is going to be your demise, having to always like be so connected with tangible things. You have to get out of that. You have to like explore other forms of yourself, because if you're always going to be connecting yourself to tangible things, you're never going to have rest. There's never going to be rest available to you. And like some of you guys have built that on purpose in your life because you maybe are avoiding things. You're avoiding like grief. You're avoiding moving through grief, working through grief. You're avoiding emotions in a way. So it's like you kind of feel like if you have stuff going on that you can distract yourself with, then you're better off. But Spirit wants you to calm down. Spirit wants you to come into this place of rest, of realization. Spirit wants to uncover some things for you guys because where you're going this next stage of your life, you can't be bringing old baggage. Okay, you can't be bringing old baggage into your new life. Earth signs, I'm begging you to just explore your grief. I don't want to say attach yourself to your grief, but explore your grief. Sit in it for a minute. It's okay to sit in your grief. It's okay to just experience emotions that are hurtful, that are uncomfortable. It's okay. You guys that don't give yourself the opportunity to do that. You guys constantly are telling yourselves that you want to feel better, you should feel better. You're putting yourself in places where you're being distracted, you're not really experiencing your feelings, and it's just in a place where it's become wildly unhealthy. And before you go backwards and retreat back into that space of like, you need to have goals, you need to have tangible things in front of you to distract yourself. Just think twice. Just think twice. You're ready to go through these emotions. You're prepared for it. You're ready for it. You might not think you are, but you are. Spirit is saying you are, and Spirit is saying that if you look back, if you go backwards and you keep just indulging in those behaviors, then I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if your spirit guides just said like, okay, I'm tapping out and I'm giving up on you for now because you can't, you're not ready. Like you can't see what I see. Exactly. Look at that. Test the boundaries of your comfort zone. Short term discomfort will yield positive results. That is your affirmation around decoding your fears. It's testing the boundaries of your comfort zone. And your comfort zone is moving, 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 going, going, going. Okay, it's a very short term discomfort that you're going to feel when you're in this space of like chilling out and just letting yourself be guided, but it's going to yield positive results. The 6 of Wands is a small victory. So, and it's after the Hermit that the 6 of Wands shows its face. It's after that moment of introspection, that moment of seclusion and experiencing your feelings. I feel like the 5 of Cups and the Hermit kind of go hand in hand here. But it's after you guys let yourself go through those emotions and address like those behaviors and honestly address those I want to say addictions and not traditional addictions in terms of like what you're consuming like in your body, but like just things that you accumulate around yourself. It's going to yield positive results. You have nothing but good things to look forward to. And when you want to start to look at like boosting your self-esteem, you have to just remember to recognize your value and others will too. Even in times of zero movement, even in times of rest, you are valuable, earth signs. And you guys need to know that. You don't need to be constantly moving. You don't need to be acquiring material possessions to be, or acquiring like worldly titles and things to be valuable. You're valuable even in a state of rest, even in a state of I'm not going out and I'm not seeing anyone. That is value. There's value in knowing that everything is not worth your energy, everything is not worth your time. Azurite, get laser focused. And what I feel like that means is get laser focused on just allowing yourself to experience and appreciate, you know, all the full range of your emotions, whether they're happy, sad, stressed, depressed, anxious. Find the value in them. Get focused on working through them and knowing what they feel like and knowing how to address them and knowing how to name them. And with that, you can actually be setting yourself up for a lot more success. That's the vibe check for earth signs for the Pisces season. So let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. If you need more information, jump over to zoesintuition.com. I have readings as low as $5. You'll get plenty of information even with just the $5 reading at the lowest price point. You don't have to buy the $100 reading, although you can if you want that dialogue, if you want to be able to ask questions, have that FaceTime, have more time with me. Otherwise, just continue to support, continue to share this content, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. All right, air signs, if you're a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, this is the Pisces season vibe check for you. I'm always super excited for this group because I'm an air sign myself and I want to know what's going on too. Shit. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the energies that are carrying you, influencing you, and guiding you through the Pisces season. Okay, air signs? Oh no. That's not what I wanted to hear. It's like, just kidding. All right, so air signs, it looks like, I don't know, there's some kind of self-inflicted trauma going on here with the Ten of Swords. I think you guys we are taking on a lot, taking on a lot of little to-dos, maybe like biting off more than we can chew and kind of like stabbing ourselves in the back when we feel like we're not finishing everything that we've taken on. It seems like we just need to go easier on ourselves. Air signs, we need to go easier on ourselves. It's a lot of just like harsh words that are said to the self is what I'm feeling with this Ten of Swords here. It's like the betrayal, the stabbing in the back, but it's self-inflicted. It's like maybe we're just biting off way more than we can chew. Maybe we have the goals that are being set are way too ambitious. And even with the little things, you guys, even with just like the day-to-day little things, the to-do list, the routines, the feeling like you need to have a morning routine or feeling like you need to have a nighttime routine or just feeling like you need to have things in a certain order and in a certain way, like being an air sign is such a freeing life path, I feel, because we kind of have an energy that is like we're going to go kind of where the wind carries us, but society is not built that way, so we kind of inflict all these different ideas of how we should act and how we should behave, and there are things that ultimately don't serve us, and because we're like forcing it down our throats, it's kind of like it's a huge distraction actually. It's like every time you fail on checking off every item on your to-do list, it's a huge distraction. It kind of causes you to like lie face down in the ground and not really see like the beauty and just letting life carry you a certain way. I feel like we need to realize that we are surrounded by a lot of abundance. We are surrounded by a lot of peace and harmony. And that doesn't always reflect in like the day to day, like how we want it to reflect. It doesn't always reflect in terms of like, oh, we're being super organized or we're really efficient or we're this and we're that. But it might reflect to us in other ways. It might just reflect to us in always being able to land safely on your feet. Not always having a plan, but being able to just land safely on your feet. Even with the Page of Wands, the Page of Wands is not really a huge planner, right? The Page of Wands is just an inspired energy. Like the Page of Wands goes where it's inspired. It doesn't necessarily always have a plan. It can't see 3 and 4 steps ahead. It doesn't have like a routine in which the way things go. I feel like a lot of us, we're just forcing things on us, on ourselves that do not serve us. That's what I'm seeing here with the Ten of Cups. There's a lot of things being forced that are just not of service to you. It could be, like I said, it could be the routines. It could be just the way you're living your life day to day. It could be the type of job you have in the business that you're in, and the way that functions and actions of the business are performed that don't serve you and don't suit you. I really encourage air signs to just find your own way to go about things. Ease up off of yourselves for a little bit. Ease up off of yourselves in terms of like the restrictions you're putting on yourself. If you're waking up feeling like, oh, my morning has to go a certain way, otherwise, like I'm failing. Like, for example, I'm going to use myself because I'm an air sign. I used to make my bed every single day. I came from a very militant household. Um, Both of my biological parents are military. Um, I came from a household where like making the bed in the morning was not a question. My lifestyle is very different now. I don't necessarily have time to make my bed before I have to get out the door because there are times when my day starts incredibly early and all I have time to do is like rise, get hydrated, get some sustenance in my body, get a little bit of movement going, get dressed and get out the door. Like those are what have become like non-negotiables for me. Making my bed is negotiable for me. If I don't make it, I don't make it. And it's something that I don't beat myself up about. However, there might be another group of people, there might be another group of signs that feel like that is something that's crucial to them and that's something that they're making time for every day. We have to do what suits us, not what society says is the right way to do things or the most productive way to do things or the smartest way to do things. Okay. Um, a lot of us in our journey, air signs, you guys have like journeys of kind of like in this material world, in this existence that we're currently in, a lot of our journey is just being able to start over and showing people that there's nothing wrong with starting over. Like that's a lot of our energy lies in just being like of guidance to other people and showing other people like there's nothing wrong with starting over. There's nothing wrong with going after something new. And it's not always going to look the same starting over. It might not necessarily mean like, okay, I'm starting over in a sense of I'm going to like choose a new career path. It could mean like I'm moving to another country and I'm starting over in friendships. I don't have the same friends that I used to have. It could be I'm starting a family and I'm starting over in terms of like my outlook and my view on parenting. There's so many ways to start over in life, and air signs, you're being encouraged to embrace newness all the time. Embrace newness, embrace starting over. I feel like this is a group of people that very much does require a lot of rest. And in a capitalistic society, rest is not something that's praised. But the Four of Swords, this whole reading is about us doing things in our way. And I feel like with the Four of Swords, you're being encouraged to rest. You're being encouraged to kind of lead this life of the fool and lead this life of like not being afraid to start over, not being afraid to look like an idiot, not being afraid to kind of knowing like go down a path that you know nothing about or that you have a lot to learn about, and taking your time getting there and not forcing things. A huge part of like an air sign's journey is to learn how to not force things, and that's what the Four of Swords is kind of coming out to say. It's like you don't necessarily need to have a bullet pointed step by step plan. Like you can let the wind carry you. You can sit back, put your intentions out into the universe and just let the wind carry you. With the Ace of Cups, I see that when you guys, all of us as air signs, are in a place of being well rested, in a rested state, we actually come out being a lot more abundant. We come out being, our cup is being like our cup starts to overflow when we allow ourselves to rest and when we're not forcing things. It allows opportunities to fall into your lap. A lot of a lot of the opportunity that we come into is a result of like just being seen and just being appreciated. And I want to say a lot of it is gifted to us just by being of inspiration. People want to give you things just because you inspire them. And that's how you come into your abundance. And that's how you come into like a life of quality and a life of just, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a life of quality and it's also a life of, abundance. I guess it's abundance. It's having material possessions. Like material possessions come upon us, especially in Pisces season, as a result of allowing ourselves to rest so that when we come forward in our true authentic well-rested self that is just inspiring and appreciated. Let's get some more cards out for the air sign spirit to dissect even further what the season will look like. Oh my gosh, this devil card wanted to come out so freaking bad. I was actually trying to avoid it. That's probably why I wanted to come out so bad. Spirit, can I get one more card for the earth signs? Thank you. Okay. 10 of Cups came out twice for us. There's so much peace and harmony available to us if we just allow it to come to us, if we don't just feel like we have to run out seeking it and chasing it every day. Grind culture is not for us, and not during Pisces season at least. We're being led into victory. We're being like drawn into victory. The Six of Wands tells me that there is victory available to us, but it's victory that is like it's victory that kind of just falls upon you. It's something that you don't have to work so hard for. With the Four of Pentacles, I feel like there is a little bit of a stinginess with the energy around air signs. Pentacles talks more about like worldly things and this and that. And I feel like if you're feeling like, if you catch yourself feeling like your resources are limited and you want to be stingy, or you want to be cheap, or you want to like just like skimp out on like certain things that you know like deep down you shouldn't be skimping out on, check yourself before you wreck yourself. The Devil card tells me that this is a pattern with you guys. You get to a certain point, you get a little bit more, and then you get afraid of losing it. It's a fear-driven behavior, and then you start to kind of act funny and act weird and act stingy when it's like your abundance comes from being generous. Your abundance comes from being open and letting energy flow through you, not holding on to energy, letting energy flow through you, whether that's tangible energy, whether it's metaphysical energy. Your abundance, air signs, especially in Pisces season, but really throughout your whole lives, is about letting energy flow through you, being a conduit of energy. When you think about air, what does air do? Air is all around us. It's the space in which energy flows. There is no like air is just, it's carrying energy. It lets energy flow through it. It's like it's not a dense locked up element. It's like a free flowing lightweight element. You can move through it, and that's what energy wants to do. Energy wants to move through you, earth signs. So you have to allow it to. You have to allow that energy to move through you. I'm going to say it once more. Your abundance comes from allowing energy to move through you. Your abundance comes from being generous with energy and allowing energy to move through you, and being an inspiration to people. Honestly, sharing inspiration, being an inspiration to people. I feel like sharing ideas, being kind of a sponge in some way, like absorbing things from people and creating things with what you absorbed. I hope that makes sense for you guys. I'm not gonna lie, the Emperor is kind of throwing me for a loop here, because the Emperor is very rigid energy, but the Emperor holding on to this Ankh, I feel like says that life force is in our hands in some way, and while because of that, the Emperor, okay, I'm getting flooded with information now. It's saying life force is in our hands. Not only is life force in our hands, but also it's saying that we need to take the time to be discerning, because we're in a position of power. We're in a position of influence. Like the Emperor is a very influential figure, and holding life in the palm of his hand, her hand, it's not an easy feat. Like it's not an easy thing to do. You do have to be discerning about where you're dispersing your energy. Just because you hear spirit encouraging you to be abundant with, or to rather to be giving with your energy, spirit is not saying that you should be reckless with your energy. You should be very much that's part of resting too, knowing when it's time to rest, knowing when you've had enough or when it's been enough, is like being discerning with your energy, how you're spreading it, where you're spreading it, when you're spreading it, where like what scenes and scenarios are worth your presence, and what scenes and scenarios you say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to rest this time. Don't give people authority to take your power. Question their behavior and create long overdue change. That's discernment. That is discernment at its best, not giving people the authority to take your power, questioning their behavior, and creating long overdue change. If you're in situations where you're constantly like overexerting yourself or taking on too much, it's because you're allowing somebody else to dictate how you live your life, and you're allowing somebody else to um, just suck the energy out of you. And you really have to question not only their behavior but their motive. They might very well know like what a conduit you are for abundance, and they might be taking advantage of that, and it might be time for you to take change of that. That's another thing with the emperor. The emperor is in control. The emperor takes life into their own hands. They're in control, and I feel like air signs with energy moving through us, and we're having that control of where we're placing energy and who's being fed from this energy. It's very much we're in control of a lot of things around us, how things go around us, just in workplaces and friendships. It's very like much a subtle energy of control, like a it's not something that's so outwardly recognized, but we are very much in control of a lot of situations, and it's time that we recognize that and we just create a discernment, and an energy of responsibility around that, especially now with decoding your fears. Your affirmation for this was self-esteem, and for decoding your fears it says you're avoiding the situation in fear. Tackle it head on. The outcome will be better than you expect. So whatever situation is causing exhaustion in you, whatever situation is causing this behavior, you need to tackle it head on. Because what you're going through now, there's nothing worse than what you're going through now, than like self-sabotaging. There's nothing worse than that, trust me. The only outcome from that is a good outcome. Adventuring, create your own luck. There you go. It's time for us to create our own luck, to take matters into our own hands, and to just be in control of our lives and our day-to-day situations. And yeah, that's all I can say. Honestly, that was a beautiful reading for air signs for the Pisces season. If you liked it, let me know in the comment section. And if you need any more information, go ahead and tap in with me at zoesintuition.com. I sell readings for as little as $5, and you get an abundance of information even at the lowest price point. So you definitely don't have to purchase the $100 reading to get the information you're looking for. Just purchase with intention, and the information will come to you. With all of that being said, thank you so much for joining and watching this reading. Go ahead, like, comment, share, subscribe, and until next time, just don't think too hard about things. Do what feels natural to you, whoa, air signs. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys on the next video.